Good morning. I'm Crystal Bermudez Nunez. I'm from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and I'd like to welcome you to the Battle of the Belts Seatbelt Safety Award Ceremony. This year, the campaign had 26 Hillsborough County high schools participate. The numbers have been calculated, the winners have been chosen, and the results are in. So I hope you guys are excited. The Battle of the Belts campaign makes a huge difference in the lives of our young drivers, especially because traffic fatalities are the leading cause of death for drivers between 15 and 20 here in the U.S. You are 5 times greater to die in a traffic crash if you're thrown from your vehicle. And these statistics prove that this program is essential for our youth. I'd like to introduce some of the representatives, distinguished guests we have here seated on the stage. First, we have the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Department of Patrol Services Colonel Greg Brown. Next, we have the Assistant Chief, John Newman, from the Tampa Police Department. Hillsborough County Public Schools Superintendent, Mary Ellen Elia. The Principal of Lennard High School, Mr. Craig Horseman. And lastly, Geico Insurance Representative, Mr. Jim Pratt. I love the energy in this room. You guys are pumped. At this time, I'd like to recognize Laura Marchetti and Dick and Diane Syke, representing the Marchetti family, the founders of the Katie Marchetti Memorial Foundation and the Florida Primary Safety Belt Act. We also have Ms. Jeanette Rouse and other members of the Community Traffic Safety Team. Thanks for being here. We have Executive Director Ms. Donna Houchin, representing SERV, and Ms. Dawn Lewis, Ms. Kathy Sale, and Ms. Rowena Camejo from Tampa General Hospital. And now I'd like to ask Colonel Greg Brown to approach the podium to say a few words. Colonel Brown.
Good morning, everybody. I want to start off with a couple questions actually out to you, and you guys have done a tremendous job, but how many of you are concerned about gun violence? How many of you are concerned about seatbelts? Okay. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, but I wouldn't ask a deputy. And let me ask you another question. How many of you have ever been in a traffic crash with your parents driving or any of your friends? So that's more hands than we got for either of the others. How many of you, when you woke up that day, said, you know, it's Monday, it's a great day, I think I'll go out and get in a traffic crash? Probably none of you. Yet, we wouldn't ask a deputy to say, you know, today you're going to get in a shootout, so why don't you not leave your bulletproof vest at the house, just don't wear it. Yet your chances of dying from gun violence or being shot is so much less than seat belts, and the leading cause of death in your age group is traffic crashes. That is your bulletproof vest for your car. And I want to tell you about just a short story about my daughter, who's now an attorney working for us, but she was notorious for not wearing a seat belt. If there was ever going to be a fight in the Browns vehicle, it's going to be over her wearing a seatbelt. She'd snap it in, and she got very, very good about quietly removing it. And she continued to do this till one day when I dropped her off at dance class, and when I went to pick her up, there was a whole different girl that got in the car. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, Andrea Walker died today. And Andrea was in high school. And what happened was she and her boyfriend and another friend got in the car to drive home. And they got in a very minor traffic crash on 579. Our units responded, Hillsborough County Fire Rescue responded, and she was talking to him, she was fine. And then she started to get a little shocky, and they actually called in for a medevac to come and pick her up. But the helicopter never landed because she died before it could land on the ground. And what happened that day is Andrea got in the car, they had this minor traffic crash, she hit the dashboard, her friend from the back seat came forward and hit her. She was fine when she was talking to him, except that she didn't know she had ruptured a blood vessel inside her chest wall. And as she sat there talking to him, her life was being pumped out of her body, and she died at the scene. We never got her to a hospital. Andrea didn't say goodbye to her parents that day. She didn't get up and say, you know, today I think my boyfriend and I'll go out and get in a traffic crash. But from that day on, my daughter is a very big advocate for seatbelt use. I'm saying to this, you know, I'm a lot older than you. You guys could be my kids. But it's not fair to your parents, it's not fair to your friends to not wear that seatbelt. Last year in Hillsborough County, 34% of the people that died, and in this county there's almost 200 died in traffic crashes. So look around this room and pick out which 200 people never got home. 34% of those didn't wear seatbelts, and they'd be alive today had they done it. So you owe it to your friends, your parents, and I know some of you drive with your parents and they don't wear them. If you want to see your mom and dad the next night, you remind them to put it on. For all of you, congratulations. You've done a great job, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you, Colonel. At this time, I'd like to ask Assistant Chief John Newman from the Tampa Police Department to approach.
Good morning. This is a great day. It's a big celebration, and I look across this room and I see so many young people, and I realize, wow, this campaign is so much more than just maybe getting a cash award for your student government. The underlying current that's happening with the seatbelts is you have to become advocates, not just when the campaign's going on, but when the campaign's over, to be able to tell your friends and your family and folks that you might get into a car with to wear a seatbelt. You have all sat through, or you're going to sit through, the driver education courses. You probably know the statistics and can quote them better than myself and Colonel Brown. You know what age group you fall in. You know what that means when it comes to vehicle crashes, fatalities, and the contributing causes like not wearing a seatbelt. So when we leave here today and we shake our hands and we pat our backs and we say good job for a great campaign, don't forget it doesn't stop today. It continues when you walk out those back doors. It continues if you have a smaller brother or sister, a neighborhood friend, or maybe somebody you just don't even know when you roll up alongside them on an intersection and they don't have their seatbelt on. My division has DUI and traffic fatality investigations. That's all they deal with. And over the last 28 years in law enforcement in the Bay Area, I have seen way too many folks, specifically the age group that I see before me, carelessly forget to do something that can save their lives as simple as making a click. So I'm proud of each and every one of you. I think your campaign is awesome, but now you must achieve a tipping point. For those of you who have taken biology, you might know what that is. For some of you that maybe might go on to management and business classes, tipping point is when you achieve that momentum that you can go forward and everybody gets it. You now become the majority. You've told everybody that around you, put on your seatbelt. That's what makes a difference. So congratulations, enjoy your achievements, but like I said, it doesn't stop here. It continues when you walk out the doors this morning. Again, thank you very much.
And lastly, I'd like to ask Superintendent of Hillsborough County Public Schools, Ms. Mary Ellen Elia, to approach the podium.
Thank you. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Craig Horseman, the principal here at Lennard High School. Craig, thank you. For the great students here at Lennard, the Sheriff's Office for organizing the competition, the awards presentation, and our great partners at the Tampa Police Department who work with our schools in the city and make these things happen for them. The 26 high schools that have participated, their principals and sponsors, and Geico Insurance, okay, our representative, who I will say I know we see often on TV, right? This campaign started in a way that I think is an important story for you to hear. You were introduced to representatives from the Marchetti family. It started after Laura Marchetti and her husband, Vin, lost their daughter, Katie, who was a student in our high schools, to a car wreck almost 6 years ago. She would have survived if she had been wearing her seatbelt. And I think that's the point that's so important here. This is one of those single instances when if you do something, it saves you, and a little small click causes you to not live. Katie's life was taken. Her family, rather than isolating themselves and grieving over their unimaginable loss, Laura got busy and lobbied for tougher seatbelt safety laws and encouraging students to sign pledges to wear their safety belts. And it was amazing. It was a great way to honor their daughter. It was a great way for all of us. That single year, we had a rash, and I think you can remember that. It was an incredible time in Hillsborough County. It was like almost every weekend, certainly prom weekend, homecoming, and times when lots of kids were out on the road. We had an incredible rash of kids dying because they didn't have seatbelts on and they had been in car accidents. And one of them, in fact, it was a multiple tragedy because it was a car filled with kids. This brings it to a reality. If you think, at the end of this life, we're all going to go somewhere else. The reality is, you won't be here, but the people, the friends that we talked about, the family that we talked about, they will be here and they will be grieving. And you have to think of yourself, because you probably want a life, don't you? And you have to think of your family, and you have to think of all the people that you associate with, that if something happened to you, you would leave a void in their life. So I'm really proud of all the schools that have participated in this, who have worked to make sure people at their school understand that this is a life-changing decision, and it's just so small. It's clicking on your seatbelt, and I'm going to roll this out a little bit to you, I think we have got to address the issue of texting and the use of cell phones and technology while we're driving. All of these things can, in a split second, change the way you, your family, and your friends have their life, or don't have their life. So I will tell you, being the superintendent of schools in a district that has over 200,000 students, the best way for things to happen with our students is for our students, other students, to take the lead on it. And I'm so proud of the work that's been done in our schools. This has to roll out to all of the schools, but all of the students in those schools. And you're the ones that can make that happen. We can talk about it, but I know there are some of you sitting out there thinking, well, she is an adult. She doesn't really understand. We get in there. We're having lots of fun. We turn up the music. You can turn up the music. Have your seatbelt on. You can use your cell phone. Just don't be the driver. So all those things can be okay for you, but what you can't do is forget that seatbelt, and when you're behind the wheel, use your cell phone to text and to take phone calls and all. I am telling you, life is much too short, and it will be a whole lot shorter if you do that. So please, as responsible students, get the word out to everybody you can. And as a driver, just don't move your car until it's done. It's pretty easy, but don't move your car until those things are done. So to all of our partners here, to all of the schools and the administrators that have done a great job in supporting the efforts of you as students, thank you very much. I believe this saves lives. Thank you.
We have approached the portion in our program we have all been waiting for, the winners of this year's Battle of the Belts. At this time, I'd like to ask Colonel Brown and the GEICO representatives to step to the awards table. As I read each category and the winners, I would ask that the winning school approach the stage from my left. Join us on stage to be recognized. After receiving your award, please return to your seat. Okay, here we go. In the highest percentage category, now that's the school with the highest seatbelt usage. Tied for second place with an amazing 98% seatbelt usage are East Bay High School and Steinbrenner High School. It's always fun to be first, huh? And with 98.25% seatbelt usage, this year's first place in the highest percentage category goes to Riverview High School. In the most improved percent category, that's the school with the best improved rate, in second place with 16.36% improvement is Freedom High School. And with 26.17% improvement, first place in the most improved category goes to Brandon High School. Our next category is the best poster category. That's the best poster emphasizing seatbelt usage. Special merit and third place go to Plant City High School. In second place, Lennard High School. And this year's first place in the best poster category with their seatbelt style poster is Newsom High School. In the best public service announcement category, that's the best PSA encouraging seatbelt usage. In third place, we have Blake High School.
We're talking about a terrible tragedy here when you consider you have come in at a very high rate of speed, hitting with such force, it even left rescuers reeling.
In second place, Spoto High School.
Did you know 1 out of every 5 drivers will be involved in a traffic accident this year?
About 35,000 people die in a motor vehicle crash each year. About 50% of them could have been saved. That's 17,000 lives.
I pledge to buckle up.
I pledge to buckle up. Don't be a statistic. Take a pledge today.
And this year's first place winner in the best PSA category is, I think we're going to show it before we have them come up on stage. Lennard High
It was 6:30 when I pulled up to school, and there were lights everywhere. When we got closer, we saw the ambulances and fire trucks around. There were 2 cars. And my cousin, she was ejected from her car after an accident because she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. Her friend was able to be airlifted, but because my cousin didn't buckle up, she's gone forever. An action so simple could have saved her life. So remember to buckle up.
And finally, our last category, Best Overall Campaign, a combination of all of the categories. In 3rd place, we have Spoto High School. In 2nd place, Steinbrenner High School. And this year's Best Overall Campaign, I'm afraid to say it, Lennard High School! Great job. Let's give these schools and all of the participating schools a round of applause. At this time, we want to thank Geico for their support and their sponsorship of this worthwhile program. Without these efforts and their financial support, this would not be possible. So, Mr. Pratt, please accept this from Colonel Greg Brown of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. And now, before we wrap it up, I want to introduce a retired Tampa Police Department School Resource Officer, Officer Lawrence White, who's going to perform his catchy seatbelt safety rap. I swear you are going to be humming this later today and maybe next week. I apologize in advance, but it's really catchy. So. Do you usually move around? Because this is...
That's okay.
I'm so glad to be here with you today, and I love working with young people, and it hurts my heart when someone is injured or killed in an automobile crash because they just failed to write their seatbelt. So that is what inspired me to write this song, Buckle Up and Do It Right. Now I need your participation. So I need you to say, click it or ticket. Click it or ticket. Now I need y'all to show them how to do it. And then when we sing, buckle up and do it right, I need you to buckle up and do it right, buckle up all day and night. I need your participation. They will show you how to do it. Two for the law says it's right. Two for the law says it's right. Well, two for the law says it's right. Give yourself some additional help. I always carry your seatbelt. It's the truth and it's your job. Safety belt can help save lives. Don't pop and give for an extra ride. Don't be going from side to side. Do the law, I said it's right. Just don't let down night to night. Now take it, or take it, what? Take it, or take it, take it, or take it. Just take it. When you get into the car, don't get too cool. The bullet is off before you move. Yes, you will. Now right from wrong. That means you put it on. Buckle up and do it right. I can hear you. Buckle up and do it right. Buckle up and do it right. Well, two for the law, I said it's right. Buckle up now, nice and tight. Don't you miss that early day. Doing the best we made it late. Give yourself some additional help. I always wear your seatbelt. It's the truth and it's no time. Safety belt can help save. Don't bother to for extra ride. Don't be going from side to side. Two to the law, I said it's right. Just buckle up now, everybody. Buckle up and do it right. Buckle up, okay and right. Buckle up and do it right. Buckle up, okay and right. Now you don't need another ticket. I just wanna see you thinking. Buckle up and do it right. Buckle up, okay and right. Buckle up and do it right. Chicken bird, you don't need another ticket. I just wanna see you thinking. Buckle up and do it right. Buckle up, okay. All right, thank you very much.
I'll just hold it. Well, this concludes our Battle of the Belts Awards ceremony. Thank you for Principal Horseman for hosting the event here at Lennard High School. You guys have been awesome. Thank you to all of the schools for their participation in this worthy safety campaign. Thanks for attending, and remember, buckle up. Have a great day. Thank you.